The Village is a movie I really like. It has its flaws, but the performances are captivating and the writing is great most of the time. You have not seen The Village. The trailer would have you believe that it is the story of a small town of Quakers in the middle of a forest filled with monsters that get picked off one by one. A slasher film. But the trailer lied to you. The Village is actually about a small town of Quakers surrounded by woods filled with monsters as the backdrop to a love story. And a compelling one. When this came out, people left theaters furious, as the pioneer-era slasher movie they were promised turned out to be not that. I don't blame them, because if I went into a restaurant and the chef told me he would serve me a burger, only to give me a chicken sandwich, I'd be pretty confused. The only way you can have a good, genuine experience at the theater is if you ignore what the chef says about his food and just let him cook. If you leave your mind open to possibility, you might just enjoy what he has in store. Civil War is a bad title because it is not about a civil war. And because whenever I tell people I watched Civil War, the response is always, Captain America? Every time. Without fail. No, Civil War is about the line. The line between empathy and apathy. In the beginning of the movie, we meet Lee, an experienced war journalist who has traveled across the globe and taken photos of war to be sold off to publishing companies, probably. When a civil war breaks out in America, Lee's work comes home. And at first everything is business as usual until word begins to spread that the Western forces will be planning to attack the White House and dispatch the president. Lee wants to meet the WF at the White House to collect the story and teams up with some old friends. And a new tag-along. A young woman in her 20s named Jessie who looks up to Lee as a role model and wants to join them on their journey to DC. Lee is apprehensive about Jessie joining the group, and at first it seems that she's just annoyed about having to babysit someone inexperienced, but it becomes more and more apparent that Lee doesn't want this girl to become experienced in her field at all. She understands the effects of seeing the very worst humanity has to offer.
Would you stand with them?
Stand with them?
Yeah. I'd like to take your picture.
Okay. You stand over there?
Yeah.
Where do you want me?
Between the two.
If you read between the lines, Lee is empathetic throughout the whole movie. She takes photos to distance herself from what goes on right in front of her, and it works. Lee's mentor is shot by, it doesn't matter who. He dies, Lee takes a picture of the corpse, but she deletes it. Right here is when the reality finally hits her. People are dying right in front of her, and they're not dying overseas for an oil company. They're dying without purpose. They're dying because of something deeply personal. They're dying because of something they don't understand. The director of Civil War, Alex Garland, also directed Annihilation. Based on those two movies alone and literally nothing else, I'm going to assume that this guy likes colors. Annihilation is a movie about an alien that crashes onto Earth and produces what the movie calls the Shimmer, which is a growing dome of something. Something that refracts the DNA of living cells and turns them into something. This shimmer also refracts air and makes it into an ocean of different colors. Blue, magenta, yellow, green, and those colors are also spread throughout this dome to the beings that inhabit it. Whether they be flowers or deer, color represents an entity we don't understand. In Civil War, color represents a conflict we don't understand.
Oh, I get it. You're retarded.
Who is this guy? No, really, I have no idea who this guy is. I don't know what his allegiances are. I don't know his name. I don't know who he's spotting for. I don't know who's shooting at him. Besides the main cast and the WF, I don't know anybody in this movie. We can assume what these people are fighting for, but we don't know, really. It's a pointless question to ask, and that's why the film asks it, and then gives an immediate answer. it doesn't matter.
Yo, what's over there in that house?
Someone shooting?
Guys, shut the fuck up.
Wherever these conflicts are, they're accompanied by the colors blue, yellow, green, and magenta. Lee's mentor is killed by a guy wearing rose-tinted glasses. The man is burying bodies. Despite the nationwide conflict being anything but clear-cut, this man demonstrates a certain naivety in how he treats people. He asks questions about allegiance. What kind of American are you? When that doesn't work, he asks about nationality. His rose-tinted glasses represent his ignorance to the idea that the conflict is something he doesn't understand, something not black and white. Despite his need for his own set of rules, he ignores all of them for the rule everybody abides by. If they attack first, we attack back. The movie climaxes at the White House. The WF are taking siege, and the journalists are caught in the middle of it. In the beginning of the movie, Lee would have been apathetic, maybe even excited at the prospect of getting the president's last words on camera. Lee does not take any photos while the WF attacks Capitol Hill. She barely even looks up. The last of the group and the WF reach the final hallway, the last stretch between them and the president's desk. Jessie is in the middle of the hallway and almost gets shot, only for Lee to take the bullet for her. While Lee has made her journey back into empathy, Jessie has taken the opposite route to apathy. After all, why wouldn't she? This was her first experience in war journaling, and in that time she saw the very worst of her own country. After Lee falls to the floor, Jessie stands up and takes a picture of Lee. Both of their arcs are complete. The WF storms into the president's office and drags him out from under his desk. Before they finish the job, Joel stops them and asks the president for a quote.
Don't let him kill me. Yeah. That'll do it.
Joel, throughout the movie, has for the most part been a rock to keep everyone grounded. He's never overly empathetic, nor does he show complete apathy. He loves his friends and wants to complete the mission at hand. In the end, neither him nor Jessie have any empathy for the president. It wouldn't matter if they did.